Hey guys, it's Alvaro again. I am back. Just like with the last match, I ended up getting some content ID issues because I uploaded a stream of this. It was edited, so like you'd have 30 seconds of good audio, 30 seconds of audio that's muffled, 30 seconds of just straight muted audio. Sometimes there's music, sometimes there isn't, and it was overall a mess to listen to in every sense of the word. So I've been overdubbing these matches against Tzunami. In the future, I want to upload me talking while I'm playing because obviously it's a lot harder to remember what I said, and I don't want to just repeat my words when I was recording it. So with that out of the way, here goes. This is match 2 against Tzunami. In the first game, he played what I ended up figuring out was a YOLO Decay deck or Undead, so aggro Decay, and I played late game Undead. It was a fairly close match. He got 2 of my idols and was 1 idol damage away from winning, so definitely a tight match. And with that in mind, I figured, okay, my late game Decay deck is probably not a comfortable matchup, even if it's a good matchup, and I want to do something that feels solid. Generally, especially if I don't know a player, I just kind of assume they're going to play the second deck in a row, which I probably shouldn't be saying on stream because I'm sure somebody that hasn't played me before is going to use this to their advantage. So I figure, okay, we're going to do ranged. Range will be solid against anything Decay, and it's a decent deck overall. So with that in mind, here we go. And we just did a normal challenge match, so unfortunately for me, Tzunami goes first again. And he's clearly playing Go Draw. I didn't consider anybody playing Go Draw. So I see that Growth, and I think I'm playing against Growth. So I have the Eagle against standard late game Growth, assuming I'm playing late game Growth. And I mean this is textbook range energy. So this hand is pretty solid. I've got a turn 2, 3, 4, or 4 for either of these or 3 for any of these, and then a turn 5 play. But I should point out, I just got rid of the turn 5 play because I thought I was playing against late game Growth, so I want to hold on to that spark, which I would have sacrificed if I knew this, because I want to be able to take out a Brave, because a Brave is, I mean, it's such a powerful turn 2 card if you can't get rid of it. And those things, I mean, when they stick around, they deal shitloads of damage. So had to stop it. Or that's what I thought was going to happen. He was going to play a Brave turn 2, and then I just wouldn't be able to get a board presence because I was going to have to be playing squishy units against a Brave that's hitting me. So, see a Sister of the Fox, and that's late game Growth still. Okay, turn 2 late game Growth. Really just 100% chance late game Growth is what I'm thinking now. And, I mean, get rid of the Machinated, play a Hired Smuggler at the bottom, just play it safe. He said, I mean, I don't know if you caught that message, but he just said nice finish, which playing 3 Restless Bones is a very satisfying finish. And I think right about here was the part where I realized, oh shit, this isn't late game Growth. Small little nitpick, I always prefer playing the Sister of the Fox before I sacrifice for scrolls, unless there's some reason for me not to, like I need to get a resource or I want to top deck something and see what I'm going to get before I play this. But like in this case, there's nothing else you're going to play. There's no reason not to play this and see what you get, because you could get you could have drawn another God Hand, and well, you want to get rid of the God Hand, not the thing you sacrificed first. I missed what it was, but it could have been practical. That's a really little nitpick, and I screw up move orders like that all the time, but it's something I try to get right because I always feel like, okay, I can screw up math, I can misread a play, but this is stuff that I should be doing right because it gives me very small advantages and it doesn't require any game knowledge. It's just noticing what move order is the most advantageous. But I mean, still fine. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's go draw. You're gonna be drawing, so it's he's got a fine hand, but honestly, most hands in go draw, unless they're really bad, are fine because you've got to stop me. So at this point, I realize it, and I'm thinking, okay, Canonetta, block the Sister of the Fox in case he has a Kabonk, which he has. So that was a good read. And I mean, I think getting rid of that Stone Pack Memorial was a mistake. I would have gotten rid of the Heritage. That's just me. But I also don't play Go Draw, so my analysis here is going to be weak at best. And he goes for the Hired Smuggler, probably with the idea of going for the Frostgale next turn. I'm not a huge fan of that because I think actually going for the Canonetta would have been better for the Frostgale the turn after that because the Hired Smuggler is already going to get him value. That being said, it doesn't really matter because I have that Iron Whip. And I mean, I'm still thinking I want board control and idle damage, so I can take these two out, not give him any blockers, not give him any kind of offense, and yeah, take that out, get some cards in my hand, and that's going to be good. Obviously, like looking at my hand, that's probably not the best idea. I think, I mean, here you go Woodland Memorial and Frostgale. At least that's what I would do if I were him. And Frostgale on the Woodland Memorial does actually ramp you up, and yeah, he knows that and plays it. And we got an empty board round 5, and he's doing great. He's got a solid resources. It's turn 5, and I have one creature on the board. So I don't think that's a good decision there. I think I would play the Infiltrate, sacrifice something for resources, depending on what I draw, and then Rat King. Again, this is not my deck. This is not the kind of deck that I'm playing. But I see you could have had way more bodies on the board, and you could have eaten up some of my removal, eaten up some defense. But it did end up paying off because he got a summons into Woodland Memorial, and I mean this guy is ramping hard. So I want to hold on to the burn just in case he plays something that I need to get rid of, but I'm not going to burn a Memorial. I mean, like I've got to take out 3 idols, not 1. And it's in the middle of the board, which I never get why people play these in the middle of the board. I realize that it's good for, like, it doesn't really matter because you're probably going to destroy it anyway, but, like, you might have creatures at some point. You might want to have them behind things. And there's no reason to hamper movement that you may have to do when it's doing the same thing functionally. And I doubt you're ever going to want to defend your Stone Pact Memorial. The Stone Pact Memorial will never attack. Your Righteous Partisan might. I feel like a Righteous Partisan is probably the best example if he runs those. But regardless, I mean, Hired Smuggler was a mistake. I think even at this point I mentioned that, like, I'm flustered. I've got to calm down because I played that instantly. Blast Auto makes so much more sense. Blast Auto doesn't get killed by Quake. Blast Auto has more health. It can't get killed by anything. It's just beefy. And also he can't play the 3/3 with haste. He can't play that thing and kill it because it's got armor too. It's a great card. I have 5 resources. It costs 5 resources. That would have been the best play, but I didn't do it because I am a fool. So I don't know why the hell he went for resources here. I would have gone for scrolls and probably gotten rid of the Heritage, or I mean, get rid of one of them. Don't top deck into card draw. You're playing Go Draw, and you have 0 cards in your hand. Something is up, and I'm never going to destroy the Stone Pact. Plus, you can't, I mean, you literally cannot play a Nutrition on it. So, or not Nutrition, God. I don't know cards. The draw 3 growth card. You can't play that on it because it's a structure. So I don't really get this play, honestly. I mean, wait till you get mass removal, but no cards in hand. You're playing Go Draw. Get a hand. You gotta have things to defend against me. I mean, at this point, I realized I screwed up last turn, so Blast Auto. Easy money turn. So what's he get? I mean, yeah, kabonk. And then see what you draw. Okay, God Hand, that's good to get rid of. And I mean, that Quake is... Yeah, I guess probably Quake next turn and keep that draw going. Hiding behind this is nice because I don't want to kill it. And I don't because I feel like he's going to kill it himself at some point. He's got Quakes, and I'm basically playing for idle damage. Which, yeah, I mean, you'll see that pretty soon here, I think. I ended up actually getting rid of the Blind Rages. Echoaton is kick-ass in this matchup. I mean, he's got 1,000 spells. He can't play around an Echoaton. You can't just not play spells when you're playing Go Draw. So that's something where said, okay, I'm going to get value from this card regardless. And you can't really ramp that easily in this kind of deck because you're always digging for something. There's always some kind of play that you can make, so it's hard to sacrifice resources while keeping tempo in this kind of deck because there's so much removal, so many control elements. So Echomatons in this kind of matchup are amazing. Echomatons are honestly good in every matchup, I think, except for Growth. Even in Growth, like, there's still some spells that Growth players want to play. In the current meta, I think every deck except for Gaggro, and somebody's going to shit on me for saying Gaggro, they're super valuable. So just play that, and I'm playing it up top, that way he can't partisan it to take it out for some reason. And yeah, so Imperial Resources, that seems fine. Maybe a little greedy, but all Quake is going to do is kill this, and these all still attack, so I think that's a reasonable decision. And that Eye of Eagle's a good call. Just get creatures, start cycling through, and that Veteran, I'm really happy I did that. I think I remember this happening because I saw this, and I figured, okay, I want to get value for this Echomaton. Oculus Cannon Bombard can deal 4 damage. Iron Whip gives it a +1 attack, so I should cash in on this creature. So this is very much a cash-in turn. So take that out. That's fine because it's going to move down or somewhere. And you're going to see the Iron Whip come out and 4 damage on the Idol. Take that out. And, I mean, this is looking like prime. This right here, knowing that he has Quakes in his hand, is when he should have Quaked. You draw 2 cards. You can pop another Heritage on it and draw even more cards. The one awkward thing is you really haven't sacrificed for Growth enough, or you haven't ramped in Growth enough. But you can Heritage, Quake, sacrifice for Growth, and next turn you can play the Rat King, or you can play the Veteran. But instead he plays the Veteran on something that isn't attacking and would have been killed by the Quake anyway. The only difference is he has a 3/3 that isn't defending anything. That being said, he's definitely planning on Quaking. You can tell he's got 2 Heritages on the thing that has 2 health, and he's got a Quake in hand. So, not incredibly surprising, but still not a huge fan. So, I mean, now I'm at 7 resources, so I'm trying to figure out what's the most efficient way to use them. I don't remember what I did this turn. I think Cannon Auto. And yeah, I'm not gonna mention there's a certain play that happens that let's wait. So good idle damage, good everything. Quake, that's fine. I've got beefy units out. I mean, the Blast I would have attacked one more time had I not done that misplay, but thankfully I got lucky, to be honest. That wasn't a huge deal. Infiltrate's a good call. And Cannonetta is offensively amazing because I can deal idle damage while still trying to control the board. So in this matchup, Cannonetta is way better than in some other ones. And I'm constantly threatening Machinated. There's no way you run a range energy deck without Machinated. I mean, someone's done it, but Machinated is awesome. So moving down, if I missed what he played. Pushback. That pushback was incredibly frustrating because I figured I'm getting this idol regardless, and I'm set. And now I don't get that idol. He's just basically removed my 2 attacking units. So that's a little bit of a downer. And I mean, my hand is massive. So obviously I use the power trip because I'm going to have it play regardless of what I draw. And 11 resources just happens to be, I think, the perfect math for the exact play that you see here. So take out that guy and go for it. And now, yeah, Partisan, whatever. Yeah, I mean, this is all reasonable play. I probably would have Frost Galed here just to kill it. And I mean, Echomatons, you kind of gotta just accept it, really. Though I do understand, since I've shown I have Iron Whip, and I run more melee units in this deck than most ranged energy decks do. I think I run 3 Echomatons and 3 Gravelet Guards. So I think that's more than most, but I'm not 100% sure about that. They're just good cards, so. But I think just embracing the Void is the best way to handle this deck, but or is the best way to handle this situation, but I totally get wanting to wait for a little bit to see if you can kill this thing before it can take out an idol in one hit. And he does, obviously. And now, yeah, he's got, I mean, takes out the Ekumaton, but I mean, look at how many resources I'm at. Suddenly I'm behind him, but I'm not too far behind him. Like, I've got a chance in hell. So, at this point, I mean, Blast Auto is reasonable. I'm trying to build up a board, putting beefy units and Ekumatons out. Those Ekumatons, I'm sure, were a giant pain in his neck. And now, yeah, now's the Frost Gale. Now, I need to pause this really quick to explain this next one, because there are some things that happen here that really need to be explained. But yeah, so good ramping up in growth, getting more card draw, healing your idols, all very wise things. Looking at this now, I'm not sure, or I guess he played that last and then he just drew that, so I think the Kabonk into Frostgale would have been better, but I see the Frostgale drew after he played the Imperial, so that's reasonable. Though I do think for these kind of turns, again, other than the Woodland Memorial, I think there's no reason to Frostgale first, because you get the Imperial resources. Now you have 2 cards in your hand, you can rethink your play. So in this case, you could have Frostgale, Kabonk, and take this Ekumaton out too, or you can take out the Copper Auto. You just have more choices, period. But that's hindsight being 2020. Alright, so I think it's this turn. Yes, so I need you to understand. I'm going to cut in a little bit of the last video for you to really understand what's going through my head with this Galaxy Brain play. I think this might be one of the most egregious misplays I have made in my entire Scrolls career. It's not horrible, but it's just really stupid. And I'm just going to let that speak for itself. You've watched a clip, probably. It might have shit audio, but I promise the shit audio was probably worth it. So, I mean, at that point, just play the Scout and be a little upset at myself. But, like, I've got an idol down. I've got a lot of damage on the board. So, the game is going to be decided soon, right? He's got lots of resources, 15 resources. I have 10. Whoa, God, what a burp. I have 10, so I'm not doing bad myself, but his deck is made to handle this many resources. I'm going to run out of cards to draw. I don't have that much card draw. It's a mid-range deck, so I've got a few cantrips, but I mean, nothing like what he has, nothing like Imperial resources, and eventually he's going to spiral out of control. So I have to be looking for lethal constantly, and he has to be trying to get board control back. It's kind of the opposite of the last game. Now I'm the more aggressive deck. I think, yeah, we talked about the misplay because it's very bad. But yeah, so Kabong, I think probably Frostgale here would be a good play, and he does it, which I think that was frustrating. But again, I'm playing against a deck where that's fairly expected. I mean, at this point, he's defending. I don't know why he puts that up top. He should be trying to defend the idols, at least in my opinion. Heritage Fertile Soil is reasonable, so I guess that's why he did that. I mean, like, looking at this, I don't see what's about to happen happening. But I do have 10 resources, so that's something to watch out for. And, I mean, he doesn't know it. I don't run... God, what's her name? The 7/6 piercing. I don't run her. I don't run a lot of late game cards in this deck. This one's fairly low just because I want cards that are consistently effective in the early game, and I don't feel like this deck really needs that much of a win condition because I've got Machinated, and that can kill anything. There are lots of good decks that don't do that, so don't think it's like some kind of dogma or something, but yeah. So, Thankfully, though, I think there's some kind of lethal on the way. I don't know if I could do lethal with the current setup. But I do know that with this top deck, the Cop Cannon Auto, lethal is very easy to do. So we've got 6 damage here, and, well, find the lethal. Okay, you found the lethal. Good job. You're a genius. Pause it if you want to. But, yeah, so that's game. So, fairly solid game. Definitely a few misplays. I think overall I played much better this game than the first one. I definitely got a little bit handed a few turns. There are a few turns of Tsunamis that I'm not the biggest fan of, but overall, I mean, those were great games. I think especially the first one was really, really close looking back on it. And the second one, I mean, it's still a fairly tight game, just the right draws, the right deck, and it worked out this time. So, really good games. Hopefully I'll be able to upload more. Hopefully I'll upload some games with my audio while I'm playing the game. But yeah, until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.